Doing well today. Put your city and state in the chat so we can recognize you, please.
Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, Cherie.
Hello, my dear.
How are you?
Doing pretty good today.
Good, good. Hey, everybody.
We have a fabulous guest coming on today. He confirmed with me, so he'll be on any minute. In the meantime, Tawana, I'm grateful that you were here. If you can get us started while I get all the social media up and running, please.
Absolutely, absolutely. First of all, hello to everyone. Anyone who is new, welcome to the 10K Project for the first time. We're so happy to have you. For all of our regulars, y'all know how I feel about y'all already. So thank you guys immensely for riding with us week after week, month after month, and year after year. Now we get to say. So thank you all. We are the 10K Project. Cherie Warwick is our CEO. I am your Chief Operating Officer, and we are the largest community of investors. Our mission is very simple. We are building wealth, generational wealth for our family. We do so by learning about investment opportunities, both alternative and the fundamental investment opportunities that we all know about. And we also learn all about equity crowdfunding. And as a result of the education we receive from an equity crowdfunding standpoint, we highlight and invest in Black businesses. We know that Black founders are at the bottom of the food chain with getting the funding that they need to take their businesses to the next level. And as a community, we support those founders who are raising capital via equity crowdfunding. And so we teach our community members all about equity crowdfunding and how they can get that early seat at the table and from an investment standpoint. And because there are so many ways to build wealth, we pride ourselves in the fact that we bring so many options to the community, because what's interesting to me and what may connect with me may not connect with Cherie, and it may not connect with Barb or Kimberly or Sauda, right? And so we bring all of these options and opportunities to the 10K Project community in hopes that we all take something away that help us get to that next level of building wealth. And so to all of you who are visiting us for the first time, thank you. We hope you come back. The10kproject.com is our website where you can learn about us. We also have a Facebook group where we engage. But bringing people to this community to educate you on how to build wealth, how to maintain the wealth that you build is key for us. It is the only mission we have. We do that in a lot of forms, but that is the mission, is to make sure that you're well informed on how to build wealth. So thank you guys for joining us. On Mondays, we typically bring a guest to talk to the community and to educate. We also have some member-only sessions that we do. We have masterminds. We actually had a mastermind that we are going to start on Wednesday, the 28th. No, Wednesday. Today's Monday, right? Yeah, Wednesday, the 28th. The last day to sign up for that was Friday, unless Cherie says she's making exceptions.
Yeah, there are two people who have been emailing me. So the two of you, don't worry about it. I'm talking to tech support to figure out the issue. So
wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So we're super excited about that mastermind. It's all about grants. As many of you know, we've got an amazing grant guru that's coming to help founders learn how to get grant money. And she's got some gems. She's been in the business for 50 years, I feel like she told us.
She said 48 years.
48 years, 48 years of knowledge in the grant space. And we've got her coming to the 10K Project for 6 weeks. She's going to teach us all the things that she knows so that we can go out into the world and be great. So super, super excited about that. For anyone who missed the sign up, don't worry, you'll get a chance later to sign up again and be able to watch the replays of that. But for live attendance, the cutoff was on Friday.
Yes.
So I see our guest here, Cherie.
Yes, yes. So before we continue, everybody in Facebook and YouTube, please give us a thumbs up, like the video, engage, give us your city and state. That way the algorithms will pick this thing up. And don't forget to share the stream. Thank you. All righty then. Yes, our guests are here today. So let us jump right in and welcome them. I was introduced to this wonderful couple through Raphael Husbands, who was our guest last week. And if you didn't catch last week, definitely check it out. But this couple has an amazing story because they paid off $114,000 worth of debt by starting a cleaning company without cleaning a house, picking up a mop, picking up a bucket, anything like that. So if you are interested in hearing this story, you are in the right place. So we have Anthony and Janilka, I hope I'm saying your name right, Hartzog here today. Hello.
Hi, yes.
Hey, good
Hello,
evening.
hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
And
Doing well.
congratulations.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you.
So these types of stories always fascinate me, Tawana, because really it talks about people who have a vision for their lives, have a dream for their financial lives. They pick something, they go with it, and they're able to achieve that vision and that dream. And now Anthony and Janilka have what, 7-figure business now in cleaning?
Correct. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
correct.
Yes. So this is something that I believe anybody could do, could map their blueprint, whether it's in cleaning or any other type of business that you are starting. So we're just here to kind of hear your story. So Tawana, if it's okay, I'd just like to jump in.
I say, let's jump in. This is awesome. I buy businesses, so I appreciate that. I have also gotten myself out of debt, not smart enough to have known about buying the businesses when that was happening. I just ate a lot of beans and a lot of soup. And so to hear that you've incorporated something that was much smarter than the way I did it, I am so excited to hear this and to inspire the community to do something similar to your plan, not mine. So nobody wants to live off of beans, trust me.
Yeah, I could do it for like a month, and then afterwards, I think I would get a little frustrated with that. But why don't you all just start off telling us a little bit about yourselves and how you actually came to the point where you wanted to even pay off your debt?
Okay, so my name is Janoka. This is my husband, Anthony. We are originally from Brooklyn, New York, but we live in Dallas, Texas now the past 6 years. We got married in 2016 and moved down here to Dallas the month after, actually. And we started to pay off debt in January of 2017, essentially. It started really with Anthony listening to podcasts and bringing it home and saying, hey, people are paying off their debt. I think it's something that we can do. I was against it, thinking, what's the reason? We'll pay it off when we pay it off. There's no reason for that. And that really kicked off our journey. Beginning of time is when January 2017 is when it started.
Yeah, I was listening to a lot of Dave Ramsey, rice and beans. So I'm from that school of thought where the goal is to cut as many expenses as possible and essentially not enjoy life as you would want to. And she was like, listen, I'm okay with this journey, but we were from New York. So we go back to New York a lot. We visit friends and family a lot. We like to go out to eat brunch and stuff like that. So we cut some expenses in a reasonable manner, but we still wanted to enjoy life. And the only way to really do that was to increase our income. So increasing our income meant for us, we started off with just picking up another side job. We picked up a job working at a local gym here in Dallas, Texas, Equinox. And we started watching dogs. We put our car on like a platform called Turo. And then I eventually came across the idea to start a cleaning business. She was like, heck no, we're not doing that. So that's where our journey essentially started, with debt freedom.
And we were doing all of that while maintaining our 9-to-5s.
So Anthony, how did you convince your beautiful bride here to actually do the cleaning business?
So at first she said no, because I didn't have a game plan. It was just like, I found a story about a kid who was in the cleaning industry while in college. And his goal was just to help him pay off his debt. I was like, oh, it's very similar to us. And once I came up with a game plan on how we were going to do it, she eventually said yes. But the major thing was we wasn't going to clean any houses. She said no, because I didn't say that at first. I said we could hire people who are already cleaning. Our job is to find the jobs for them, and we take a percentage of that cleaning. And once I had that game plan, I had a mindset like, all right, we're going to pay off this debt. We can still go see Beyonce, because that was a big thing too, because Beyonce thinking about going on tour. And I said, we can still enjoy life. We can still pay off this debt. And I got a game plan for us. And she eventually said yes. So it was really just coming up with a game plan that made sense for our lifestyle and our family.
Yeah, I think that that's so important because so many of us think that if we choose to do this, if we choose to go through this journey, it is going to be really hard. You can't live life. You can't, do anything for 3 to 5 years. And I like the fact that you all have parameters of, we will do this, however, we will not not live at all.
Right.
I really
Exactly.
appreciate that. Now, let me ask you a
also,
question.
Sheree, I love
Okay.
before you answer this question, I also love how Janilka challenged, right, in a
Yes.
very positive way, challenged Anthony to come up with a better plan, right, than he had. And then he met her at that challenge, right? And he did just that. I love that they worked together, right, to create this amazing, idea that now works for them, and they're still doing it even after paying off the debt. It wasn't a temporary fix, right? Now it's your lifestyle. So I loved how the two of them worked together to make this possible.
Yeah, I love that too. And Talicia's saying those Beyonce tickets are no joke.
She's
I
right.
have heard that some of those tickets are very expensive.
They're
Yes.
pricey. They're
Yeah,
pricey.
very pricey, very expensive. So then what things were you what things were you willing to give up? So you wanted to keep the Beyonce tickets, you wanted to visit family, but I would imagine there were some things you decided to give up, right?
Well, so honestly, the way that we were operating and working, we didn't have to give up a lot, and that was the goal of it. So we were, like I said, we were still working our 9 to 5s, and then doing all these other side hustles. At times, it could have been like 4 side hustles amongst both of us that we were doing. So that side hustle money became extra income to throw towards our debt, right? So there's not many things we sacrificed. There's some trips that we decided we may not go on this year and do it another year. But other than that, we were still able to maintain the lifestyle that we wanted to maintain. And that was the biggest thing for us, because there's but so much we could cut down what we wanted to do. So raising our income was really the game changer and what allowed us to still do everything that we wanted to.
So a few things that we did a few expenses that we did trim down. So our cell phone bill, it was just us on the cell phone bill. It was like $200 with AT&T. We ended up joining her father's plan, and that brought our bill down to like $80 a person, which wasn't much. But then we bought on her cousin, and he bought on his fiance, and she bought on her mother-in-laws. So our family plan
$40 a person.
ended up coming out to like 8 people on the same plan. It was like $40 a person. So you go from $200 to about $80. You're saving some money there. Another thing we cut was
we stopped using credit cards.
we stopped using credit cards. That was a big thing for us, because we said, listen, we're not going to go into any further debt. So we stopped using credit cards. Another thing we did cut was our car insurance. We called them. It was like, listen, we've been with Geico for a couple years now. What can you guys do? It wasn't much, but they did cut our plan down there. What else did we cut? And then a major thing we did was we did get on a budget. So we were literally telling our money how we were going to spend it. So money coming in, every dollar had a place where it was going to go. So once you start realizing where the money is going, you realize you have a lot more money than you thought you did. So that was a major changer for us. So every dollar that was coming in, we assigned it a place to go, and everything left over for the month, we were assigning it to go to debt.
Did you have any kind of financial coach you worked with, or any professional, or you two just sitting on your own with a pad and a pen?
I mean, the professional, I guess, would have been Dave Ramsey. That's the podcast he was listening to. And then we actually took his, I don't remember what it's called. Financial Peace University course. It's like an 8-week free thing at a church. You can find it in your any local area. we did that, and that was about it.
Yeah, but that
But
course
you,
is
but you
only,
didn't spend any money to come up with this plan. You did that all
Oh no,
just,
the course is, I lied. The course I think is like $80. I don't
Okay.
know where, I
Yeah.
don't know what it is now, but back then when we took it in 2017, it was like $80, his
Okay.
course. And that was about it. That's
Yeah.
all we did at that time.
Yeah, and that's not so bad because, you know, Tawana's heard people are spending thousands of dollars to sit down with the financial counselor and it doesn't take that much. So Latrice is saying that's where I slip up staying on budget.
staying on the budget.
One of the interesting things, and Tawana, I'll ask you about this as well, is the power of couples doing this. We had Romy Pickron, who came on a few weeks ago, and she talked about she and her now husband deciding to pay off $100,000 worth of student debt, but they were together and they did it. And then I know you and your spouse, Tawana, you two got together. And then, you know, we have Anthony and Janoka here. I wonder if it's partially because you have that other person working with you. I'm curious for all the people who are single on our social channels and here in Zoom, if, you know, if there is something to that, if maybe it's the coupling together and two people kind of saying, okay, we're gonna do this together and hold each other accountable.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Janoka, go ahead.
I was gonna say that the accountability piece is huge. And then also for us, having double income helps
Mhm.
you to throw more debt, right?
That's true.
You're one person could make what we make double, of course, but most likely that's not the case. So having the double income, the accountability, and just having someone that you can rely on and go back and forth on of, this is how I'm feeling about this right now. What should we do here? So that's really
but
what I would
then
say.
the other side of it is double income. You also have double expenses for the most part.
Yes.
And then the opposite side of it, because I always get this like, oh, you guys have both of you got double expenses, but then you also have someone that may or may not be on the same page with you. And that's
true.
when we talk to a lot of couples, is like, how can I get my spouse on board? How can I get my husband on board? And a lot of times that could drag you further apart too. So
Yeah, I agree with all of those things. And I think people who are single absolutely can be successful in this process, right? But is there a benefit to doing it with someone? Yes, and the someone doesn't have to be a spouse. You and your best friend can come together and decide, let's get our debt together and have that accountability partner, right? So it does not have to be a love interest or significant other. You could be you and your sister, you and your brother. It just has to be someone to say, you can do this, keep up the good work, or you're not supposed to be doing that, right? So it truly is that accountability, right? In my situation, it was, again, how do we prioritize? Because you've got two sets of debt, right? It's not just couple debt. It's your debt and my debt that now is our debt. And so how do we prioritize it? There's those conversations, right? And it's how do you stop the spending habits? Because we get out of debt, but if we're going to just get right back in it, then we've not accomplished anything. That's the other part of the communication, is what is the long-term goal for this family, right? Is it just to be able to get out of debt so we can spend a lot more later? Or are we really going to change our behavior because we're trying to build wealth for the future? So all of that comes into play, but I want everyone listening to this to know, you don't need a spouse in order to be successful. You just need the ability to know that you're tired of being tired, right? It starts there, right? Like, sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? Sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck, sick and tired of when you see something, you can't buy it. For me, it was, when a bill comes in, like the very first time I started thinking about being debt free, it was probably 15 years ago, when I just wanted to pay a bill when it came. When it came in the mail, I wanted enough money to pay it that day. That was my first goal for myself financially, right? I didn't want to have to wait till payday Friday, right? Because sometimes payday Friday was next Friday, not this Friday. When it came, I wanted to be able to pay it. I don't care how much it was. I wanted to be able, that was my first goal I set for myself. So then when you fast forward to 2 years ago, when we got completely out of debt, the goals change, right? Because now I've evolved, my knowledge about financial debt and wealth building has changed. And so the plan changed. So be kind to yourself, meet you where you are, right? Make small goals that then turn into life changes.
Yeah. So I have another question then for all of you. um, did you tell other people you were going to do this wealth journey, or did you just keep it in-house with you and your spouse?
We started off not telling people mainly because of me. I'm like, I don't want people in my business. That's the honest truth as to why we were not sharing it. And he's just like, I think that we can share. I think that we can let people know, because a lot of, at least back then, it's changed a bit more now. We were starting in 2017. There weren't many people, at least on social media, that looked like us, that were paying off debt that you were seeing generally. So he's like, I think that we can just talk about it. We don't even have to say exact numbers, just speak about our journey. And that kind of helped us to start our social media presence and talking more and comfortable about it, because it's a good thing. Why should I have to hide it? You know, it's something positive that's happening.
And then when we told friends and family, they were all supportive. So when we said something came up, it's like, nah, we got to skip this one.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, what, you guys got to skip it? Oh my God. It's like, they knew we were on a journey. First people ask you what, then they ask you how. So that's how it started. It was asking like, what, you trying to pay off debt? And they're like, oh, okay, we get it. We understand the journey. So once we brought people involved into what we were doing, it made it a lot more attainable, and them too.
Right. What about you, Tawana? Did you tell?
So remember, I wasn't as smart as these guys were, right? Right. I was right. We just cut things off and was like, all the fun and the great life we have, we gotta not do it until this is done. And we gave ourselves about 1.5 years to be successful. So for us, it was a lot of, nah, we can't go this time. And of course, the people close to us, because we're very social, we do a lot, we travel. People were like, what the heck is going on, right? So it was exactly what you said. People are wondering, are they getting ready to break up? What's going on, right? They go to concerts every time there's a concert. Now they're not going. What's up? So I wish I would have done it differently. I wish I would have shared the journey, because we also would have been able to bring a lot more people along for the ride at the time, right? Not after the fact, after we then brag about being out of debt, right? It would have been nice to bring people with us. So if I had anything to do over, I would change that. I would have shared it from the beginning, and I probably could have helped about 5 or 6 of my family members, a lot sooner than I did.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be so hard on yourself, because I hear for a lot of people who like lose weight, they lose a lot of weight, that sometimes they tell people too soon, and some of those people sometimes sabotage you. So, I'm just kind of like, I think it depends on your situation. It depends on if you're doing it with somebody who that person is, who's in your life, things like that. Because you may have that best friend who's like, oh, but I'm gonna lose my hanging buddy. I don't want that, so I'm gonna try to hang on for dear life. Let's turn it up next weekend, kind of thing. And
another side of that is when we got towards the last, the last couple of months, maybe about the last 6 or 7 months of the journey, I created an accountability group outside of friends and family. I said, listen, we got some more debt to pay off. This is getting boring. You start getting to the end and you're like, I don't really want to do this anymore. So I created an accountability group. I actually did it twice before. Once when we paid it off, before we paid it off, and another one after we paid it, just kind of keep people going. And I said, listen, whoever wants to join me, we're going to put our numbers out there. It's going to be a public accountability group. Every week, you're going to see how much this person paid off, how much what are they doing? How are they budgeting? We had meetings every week, and we called it a Delete the Debt Challenge. And that group, the first time that about 8 to 10 people paid off about 80,000 in about 7 weeks or so. The next time we did it of like 15, and they paid off like 100,000 plus. And it was just like speaking about your numbers in public kind of pushed people further, and it became a challenge. And I said, everyone puts in like $50, and the winner got the pot of like $200. It wasn't much because I didn't want to come out of my own pocket for it. But the goal was just that, get the money and just give it to them to kind of keep people accountable. So we did that like a couple weeks in a row, and that was another way we kept each other accountable too. And other people, strangers, joined us for the ride too.
Wow, that is amazing.
I love that idea.
Well, Tawana, I wanna ask them about their journey of the cleaning business, but before I do that,
question I have. Yeah.
Okay. So
I have a ton of questions about first of all, how did you get people to trust you to get them business, right? So I'm already cleaning. And is it that part of the job is hard for me, right? Cleaning comes easy, but getting the clients was the difficult part of my job. which is why I made working with you guys a benefit to people who clean?
So yes, most likely. What we try to say to make it easier for people, like break it down even further, is it's the same thing that Uber and Airbnb does. There's a reason an Uber driver is not just soliciting their services by themselves, because Uber is a bigger platform. So I'll get more business with Uber because they know more people. Same thing with a cleaner. Like they can get work word of mouth and stuff, but they work with a company. We're bigger than them operating by themselves, and so on and so forth. So yeah, either they just want more business. Sometimes, they have their own clientele. Almost all the time they have their own clientele, but they want more business. And so working with us provides that for them. So if they're having 5 jobs a week, if they work with us, they can have 20 jobs if they'll like. They still maintain that flexibility.
Yeah, I love that question because there are a lot of companies out there. So as you're thinking about this, everybody who's watching this, think beyond cleaning. There are a lot of professional service people out there who have a difficult time finding clients. That's why there's Fiverr. That's why there's Upwork,
Thumbtack, all of
TaskRabbit.
those.
Yeah, all of those things. There are recruiters that hire people for new jobs. It's basically being a matchmaker, and most people are not good at finding clients. So if that is something that you're gifted at, then definitely you can make a lot of money being the middle person in all sorts of industries
Yeah.
that are
And
out
when we
there.
first started marketing this information, it wasn't just for cleaning businesses. We said you could do it for lawn care, you could do it for handyman, you could do it for plumbers, you could
Mhm.
do it for Christmas trees. Somebody was like, I started a Christmas lighting service. So we marketed
hair, nails, barbers,
Sure.
all and like service-based businesses.
service-based
basically.
businesses.
Daycares.
And a
Same
lot
thing.
of people who are good at, let's say I'm just gonna stick with cleaning because that's what we focus on. But
Mhm.
if you're a cleaner, more than likely that's your specialty, that's what you're good at. The business side of it, you probably don't even want to handle that. You don't want to handle the marketing, you don't want to handle the customer service, you don't want to handle the client complaints, you don't want to handle any of that stuff, which is why you work with someone like us where we take that off of you. You go out and do what you're best at, what you're gifted at doing, and we handle all of the back end services.
Yeah. I mean, even me as a business plan writer, I joined a group of people who are all business plan writers, highly experienced, and this guy just feeds us leads, you know?
Mhm.
And when I first got started in my business, connecting with that company really helped me. But here's the thing with that company, you couldn't just be a business plan writer walking off the street saying, "Hey, I'm here." You had to actually be recommended in. But
Mhm.
once I was recommended in, I basically made, I'll say about 60, 70, $80,000 a year with that company just feeding me leads, but they were all high quality leads because they knew how to market online. So yeah, so like, a lot of people are able to do things like that if you're really good. Setting up people's social media and running their social media accounts for them, all sorts of things you're able to do that they're just not great at doing. So
Yeah, we're not
um,
taking anyone off the street. Just because you say you know how to clean,
mhm,
we get people all the time that I used to, I clean my mom's house. Well, your mom is probably not paying you. Your aunt is probably not paying you. We're taking professional cleaners who are paid professionally, but either by companies or they have their own clientele. Reach out to
mhm,
the clientele. We find out how long they've been cleaning with them. We reach out to the companies, how long they've been cleaning with you. And the goal is to find out how, if you are actually specialized in a service or just someone who does it on the side. If you do it on the side, we probably aren't the best fit for you because we're
mhm,
charging our clients higher end services. So you
mhm,
need most of our cleaners do come from companies who are top rated in Dallas, Texas. And they're just like, you know what? I want a little bit more flexibility. I don't like clocking in, clocking out. I don't like a rigid schedule. I kind of want to take jobs, come and go as I please, which is perfect for us because we don't need to have a regimented schedule.
mhm,
We have 10, 15, 20 different contractors that we work with. So if you're out one week and let's say you got a person in your schedule, we'll reach out and say, hey, you know what? Your person's out this week. Would you like to work with another contractor that we have, or would you like to wait? More than likely, they're going to wait. They like that person a lot. They're going to wait. And then while they're out, we're just going to turn off their books for the week and send someone else out to other jobs that are coming in. So we have a
Right.
very detailed hiring process too. So we're not taking anyone off the street either.
So how has the business evolved? So we know how it
mhm.
started, right?
Yeah.
How has it evolved now that the debt is paid, and this is just a business now for you, right? What changes? Are you guys still in the day-to-day on the front line handling it? Or are you at a stage now where you're ready to hand some of that over? Do you have staff now that handle some of that? And are you ready to move to the next business idea?
So we are not frontline anymore, but that's as of recently, because right now we have a 7-month-old daughter. When we knew that was happening, thank you. When we knew that was happening, we put an operations manager in place to kind of handle the day-to-day. Obviously, we still have meetings with her. We know who the contractors are, things like that. But yeah, it's definitely evolved from November of this year will be 5 years that we've had the cleaning. So it's evolved from day 1 to year 5, which is a good thing. And that's the way that we decide to run it, right? Because some of our students, they may still want to be in it, and but we want it to be a business that we don't have to be in every single part of it for it to run and like a well-oiled machine, because we've been doing this for for 5 years now.
And we've had both of us had 9 to 5s when we first started. I don't have a 9 to 5 anymore, but we had 9 to 5s when we first started. So we were answering the phones, we were answering the emails, we were answering the client complaints, the text messages. We were doing like the answering the leads that came in on like Yelp or Google. So we were doing everything. And then you start outsourcing little pieces. We hired assistants to start doing some of the stuff. And we were like, all right, you can pick up the phones, you can answer the emails, you could do the lead management. Our biggest thing was handing off the communication with the contractors, because they were so used to talking to us directly. It was kind of hard to say, you know what, how can someone fully manage this relationship? And then we had the baby. When we had Alani, it was like, we got to figure this out.
Yeah. So not being able to get into a house. I am dealing with bigger problems.
So there were things that we started to add in our interview process. Like, what would you do if you couldn't find a key, if you were locked out? And this is how we start to hiring our people, so that we know we're only working with people who can think for themselves, the people who don't need us to operate in the business 24/7. And then we put our operations manager in place. We started giving her those keys to the kingdom, which was the last part, was just the operations of the actual contract relationships.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you also hold insurance that covers the cleaning?
Yes, we have our own general liability insurance, and we have anyone who works with us, they have to have their own business liability insurance. And that's another side too, because if you aren't cleaning houses, if you're just word of mouth, you probably aren't even thinking about these things in your business. You're like, you know what? It's a second thought. And that's part of it too. When we're bringing people on, they don't understand. I've been cleaning for 20 years and I never needed this before. Why do I need it now? And Janoka always says, just like car insurance, you never need car insurance until you're actually in an accident.
So you need it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So selling that part of it is trying to get them to understand the business side of it is a challenge when you're trying to bring people on. But if they're well vetted and they understand business, they'll be like, yeah, this is perfect for me.
Are you all expanding into commercial real estate or government contracting?
We are not right now. That doesn't mean we never will, though.
Okay.
We just things are constantly evolving. I think this year is like it's our first child, so being parents, figuring that all out. Not that it ends in a year, but we're just trying to get our schedule together, things like that. But we have not went into commercial or government contracting, but
Yeah.
many people that do. So they're not against it.
Yeah, no, I also think that it's great that you all have found your niche and you're just like, we're going to work this niche as well. So are you nationwide or are you just in a specific geographic area?
We're just in Dallas, Texas. So across Dallas, multiple cities out here. But for now, we're just in Dallas.
Yeah.
And that's some of our next steps too, like figuring out, all right, how do we expand this business to other? We want to even start in just Fort Worth, because that's a huge city right there. So we said we can go to Fort Worth, kind of replicate this. And our students have proven that this could be done. We got students in 35 plus states that run cleaning businesses without cleaning. So we know that our business model could work. Now the challenge is actually us doing it in other states. It's kind of like, do we want to put the effort in to actually do it, or continue to thrive in Dallas? So just thinking bigger than where we are today.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit more about the program that you have, right, where you have students? Because as we know, we have a community of members who are always looking for opportunities that fit, their lifestyle. Do you have a course? Do you have a virtual? How do you, if I'm interested in starting a cleaning business and I don't want to pick up a Swiffer or a mop, right? what do I do? How do I reach out to you guys? to start learning how to be successful at that?
So cleanbusinessuniversity.com is where you will find us. So we do have a course, and we basically teach you from A to Z, from getting an LLC to getting your first client, of how we do it, building your social proof, getting your LLC, bank account, getting contractors, job ads that you will use. All of that is included in our course to help you get your cleaning business up and running without cleaning any homes. And some people have a misconception, like think that we are franchisees of the business. And it's like, no, this is your business. Like we give you the information and you take it and go with it. And then we also have a community as well for additional questions and for students that have, had the business running for 2 years, some people for a month. And people just ask questions and we share. We go on to Zooms monthly on there, bringing experts in that community as well.
Yeah, when we first started Cleaning Business University, we had members, individuals, and we walked them through our system to see if this is even a proven model. Because if you do it, it's great. You teach somebody else how to do it, now you have something. So we walk people through like 4 to 6 weeks programs, and we said if we could walk you through this, then we could replicate this with other students. And we got those students launched in 4 to 6 weeks. And we said if we did it in 4 weeks, they did it between 4 to 6 weeks, depending on schedules and stuff like that. We said we have a proven program, and then we kind of documented our process as we was going through it with them and ourselves on how long it would take someone to do this on average. And then we turned it into like a online curriculum that you would go through.
And so
Nice. So give us the website one more time, and let's even put it in the chat. Share it in the chat. Make sure you share it to everyone so they can see it, and then say it again for us, for anyone watching the replay or on YouTube or Facebook.
It's cleaningbusinessuniversity.com. So that's where you can go on and find more information about what we're speaking about and our course.
And how much is the course?
Currently, the course is $14.97.
That's not a bad price to learn how to potentially make 6 figures.
7. We're at 7. So
Go ahead, girl. Go
ahead. We have a lot. We have a lot of testimonials. We have a student that did 400K in 1 year. We got a student that's doing 3 different cities. And so our students are doing really well and doing better than us, which is what we want. We teach this because we didn't have anybody to follow, but now you have a model to follow. So it shouldn't take you as long to hit your 7-figure, to hit your 10K month or 100K month. So,
and then a question you had asked early on was like, what was it like when we first started? And it was literally us just trying to figure this out. It was like, all right, what insurance to get? We didn't even have a contract to give people. We had to pay a lawyer $900 to build us a contract specifically for our business to give contractors. So we actually put that $900 contract in the course. So at a minimum, it should be $900 because we pay $900 for that contract that we include. So like you said, we were just trying to figure this out when we first started. So when we created the blueprint, it's like, all right, this is everything we knew when we first started. This is everything that we know now, 5 years into the business. And we included that as well.
So a couple of questions then. How much money does a person need to actually start the business?
Yeah, we give an estimate of $1,500 to start the business.
It's not bad.
And that's with, getting an LLC, depending on your state, could be 300, 200. Getting a bank account, marketing, that's all of that 1,500. Getting your website up and running, but also it's not in one shot. It's not like you have to start, okay, I'm starting the business, here's $1,500. Like, no, I do 200 for my LLC. Then maybe I'm doing another 300 for it's separated like that. However fast or slowly you have to move depending on your situation. But 1,500, and we have many students that's like, oh, I started with less than that. Sure, we're just giving you a buffer, so that
And then how many hours per week should somebody commit in order to get this up and running, and for how long? Like, what's the time?
That's a great question. And we always ask, how many hours are you committed to your 9 to 5 right now? You're committing at least 40 hours. But I'm not saying you got to start with 40 hours. When we first started, we were coming home. Yeah, we definitely not 40 hours. We were saying at least 10 hours a week when you first start. So that's 2 hours every night, maybe a couple hours on the weekend. Then as you grow, you're like, I don't need to. And most of the time you're going to put in is going to be hiring or interviewing. But we say 10 hours a week to start. And if you could do that, you'd be in a good position. Now that's like the high end. On low end, you could do 5 hours a week, which is totally fine. But how fast do you want to get this up and running? And we said, we're going to do it within 4 weeks, 10 hours a week, you'll be good with that. Then as you grow and scale, you'll need less time. This is not a business where if you want to make more money, you need to put more time in. It's hiring more people, more interviews, stuff like that. But you don't need to necessarily put more time in to make more money.
I really love that. I was listening to this live stream the other day, and this gentleman was talking about the fact that he's a Black man. He has a son who is 6'10", and the son is 17 years old, and he's been trying to go into these different businesses to be hired. And he will see a hiring sign in the front window, but when he walks in and says, "May I have a job?" they say no. And the first thing that came to my mind was, where's the family business? Where's the family business that this young man could get into, right? And I think that things like this, what you have produced here, is like very important, because I have a family business to fall back on with my mother and her accounting firm if I ever need it. And I think that within our families, when we start thinking about our family investment clubs and our family banks, especially with our young people, part of the reason why other ethnicities are able to do well. Oh, and Anthony, you want to change that thing to say everyone and not just hosts and panelists. People
Oh,
can't
okay.
see that you're, yeah.
Mhm.
Part of the reasons why that they're able to do a little bit better than we are as Black people, especially, African-American ADOS people, is because a lot of them have their family businesses and their family infrastructures. I'd love to have you, either of you or Tawana, comment on that.
I'll give you guys an example. Like, we had one of our students, he's actually a lawyer, and he was just looking for something on the side for summer because he said summers were slow. And he started his business, and he said that he was bringing his 2 kids into the business for the summer just to pick up phones, just to answer leads. And I was like, I didn't really think about it to that aspect a couple years ago, but now I could fully see how you would bring family and friends into this business and have them run and grow and scale it with you. You give out certain pieces. People's like, well, I don't have time to do it by myself. Well, if you bring a family friend in, they can handle the leads, they can handle the customer service, you can handle the back end on the website. So, and that's how we ran the business when we first started too. I handled the back end and Janoka handled the customer service, unfortunately, but that was the way we decided to run our business when we first started. So this is definitely a play that we plan on bringing our family and friends in, and even our daughter down the line.
Yeah, I mean, when my mother and I had our business, I did the sales and she did all of the client fulfillment. So yeah, another partnership. Go ahead, Tawana.
Yeah, I was just going to say, think about, we've had conversations before, we've talked about how to bring the younger people into the conversation about building wealth, right? Well, we also know they are the most savviest when it comes to, social media marketing and sometimes the tech. This would be a perfect opportunity to bring them into a business model like this to start them out, right? And then eventually what it turns into is then, when you start talking about franchising, they are perfect to have one of the first businesses in another town, right?
Yes.
Or in another state, because they now have been acclimated from the very beginning. They may be the ones documenting the standard operating procedures, right? So that you can now market this and package this. So it's actually the perfect plan. And I think we need to think more about family businesses, right? We don't have to do this ourselves. That's all part of the journey. We don't have to build it and then teach them about it. We can bring them in and we're all learning at the same pace and taking everyone's ideas into consideration also, because we also know that one person can't think about what all of our potential clientele is going to think, right? Even in this business, Cherie and I both have ideas about the 10K project community, but we're 2 people with 2 brains, right? We think very differently than all of our clients, and it's hard for us to try to think like all of our clients, right? And so the more people we incorporate in saying, well, what do you think? And how would you handle this? And what do you think about this? The better the business is going to be, because we really are looking at the entire population of clientele. I don't believe in you. I know you got to pick one avatar to start with in business, right? But we're not all alike. So you really do have to consider the different parts of everyone. I love the idea of starting a family business and bringing people in.
So we do have a question here in YouTube. Do you have any students in New York City?
Yeah.
We have students in 35 plus states. So absolutely, we are from New York. So we absolutely have students in New York. Any major city you're going to ask, I'm going to say yes.
Perfect. And then the second question was, what can someone expect to make with this business?
So, I mean, that question we always say is, I think it's personal, only because I don't know your work ethic, right? So I have, like we said, we have a student that's doing 400,000 in 1 year. Now, is every student like that? No, because I know that person's work ethic. That's just how he is, right? He's gonna grind it out. So we have some people, it took us a year to make 10,000 in sales. We have students making the 10,000 in 3 months. So I can't really give a straight answer on how much you'll make and when you'll make it. The money is there. The money is there, I would say. The money is there. Getting the clients is the easy part. Finding the contractors is a bit more difficult, like in anything, finding good people. Look at your 9 to 5. I'm sure there's not everybody good there. Finding good people is a difficult part, but finding the clients will come. So that I always say is really specific to the person. Is this your first business? Do you know how to run a business? Do you know how to speak with, there's so much that goes into that answer.
So we got our first client in 4 weeks of like, all right, we're gonna do this to getting our first client.
That took us.
That's
That
not
took
so
us 4
bad.
weeks.
That's
So
not bad.
now we get students all the time. They do it in 3 weeks, they do it in 6 weeks. We get people who do it in 2 years.
They're like, yeah.
We will get a student who will watch this interview, come back, who had the course from a year ago and say, I'm ready to go now. They get excited, they see us, we'll do testimonials with students and they'll get excited. And they had the course for a year and did nothing with it. I got an email today, literally, from someone that said, I can't log into the course. And I was like, wait, let me go and see. They bought the course a year ago today, literally a year ago today. They said, I can't log in. I was like, what? So what happened was they probably saw an interview with a student or a testimonial, got excited, let me do this, let me try this again.
Yeah.
So
or they got tired of being tired, right?
Yes.
Somebody pissed them off at work today. They got home and they were like, I'm reaching out to Anthony because I've had enough. Right?
You are preaching. We'll get them on that day when they're just pissed off.
Yes.
And they'll see a student, they'll get excited about it, then they want to come and get started. So
Yeah.
we say it took us literally from day one, it took us 4 weeks, 30 days to get our first client. And we say on average takes 4 to 6 weeks. And the 6 weeks is just if you want to kind of be lackadaisical, but it really just depends on the person.
But things are coming up. The holidays are coming. There's so many things that go into play.
October
season too. So
October 15th to 20th to like Black Friday was when we got our first client. So from mid-October, so around this time we were thinking about the idea, what we're gonna do. We started officially documenting the process mid-October, and by Black Friday we had our first client.
Which is not bad at all, anybody. A month to getting your first client is not bad at all, and getting all your systems up and running.
Got some questions in the Q&A too, Sheree. I don't want to forget the Q&A.
Okay.
So I'll read those if you want to add the last YouTube question.
Oh, wow. We have a lot of stuff in the QA. I'm sorry, everybody. And Raf in YouTube is saying that every family member has different skills, which is very important as well. So great point. I apologize, everybody, for missing the questions. Let's see here. Talisha is asking, how was time management incorporated to perform the side hustles as well as a timeline for your business growth? So you already talked about the timeline, but what about the time management for to do your side hustles versus your main job?
So we were picking side hustles that didn't require too much time from us.
Let her say hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
Like, what's happening? She see the lights and everything in the room.
She's beautiful.
Thank you. We were picking side hustles that were like fit our schedule, that made more sense for us. So like we both work until say that's 5 o'clock, and then we were going to the gym and working 5 to 9, right? But that was the only side hustle that was taking us out of our home, essentially. And the managers there knew that we had a 9 to 5, so we maybe had to do 15 hours a week. It didn't take too much time out of us. When we were watching the dogs, it was in our home. When we were renting out the cars, people were picking it up from our home. So it didn't require us to separate too much. However, we're very intentional about it as well. So when we realized, okay, haven't had a date night in a while, haven't had dinner together in a while, we just wouldn't pick up certain shifts and say like the next 2 days will just be about us. So that's kind of how I think just us being intentional about it and doing things that didn't require too much time outside of the home helped us to juggle it all.
Okay. So the next question, Beulah has like three different things, but I'm gonna kind of pull it into one here. So she has a grandson who needs tuition paid, and she was wondering if maybe this cleaning business would be a good investment for him to be able to pay his tuition.
Is he running it or is she running it? That's my question as a college student. You got to make sure he's willing to do that, but
Mm-hmm.
it depends on. I feel like a cleaning business while in college is a different type of student. Nothing, not that I know him at all, but I'm just saying I know when I was in college, I just went to
You were
study and
a
have fun.
party.
Study and have fun. But I would just say if he's doing it, it will be a lot of work as a college student and doing that. But is it
Mhm.
absolutely? You know, maybe she'll work with him in some part to handle one side of it. He handles the other side of it. I think that would be helpful. But him running it on his own, I would say would be a good.
Yeah, I mean, Beulah, this is the idea of the family business again. So you had mentioned your sister as well in this. So yeah, definitely consider it if you think it's going to be something that is going to be worthwhile for you. You're also saying here that you have been encouraged to become a substitute teacher. Congratulations. Teaching is very interesting as well these days because there are a lot of people who are doing what do you call it? They're learning from home as well these days. So that's a huge industry with regards to any level. And I know Beulah, you work at the college, so any level, a lot of parents now are actually the name of it is escaping me, but the official name of it when your students are learning from home versus going to traditional school. That's really big in the country right now. So, Tawana, what other questions do you have? Homeschooling, yes, Sauda, thank
Homeschooling.
you.
The only question I had was around, we talked about the insurance, but I wondered about the background check and, from that standpoint, are you responsible for running that? Does the business run that? How does that all work?
Yeah, we do a background check, definitely. And we run it because we want to be comfortable with the people that's going into our clients' homes. And so we speak about all of that in the course of when to run the background check, what company to use, how much it's going to cost, all that type of thing. So what you need to do to onboard someone and then they get their first job. So yes, we do run a background check for all of the people that we work with.
Have you ever had to fire a cleaning company?
Yeah, there's times, well, sister contractors is not necessarily firing, it's just more of just not working with them anymore, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Just the same way that they have the freedom to kind of not work with us anymore, we can aim for them. So there's been a few people that we've let go, if you will, but yeah.
Okay.
Latrice has a question. She said, what's the interview process like if you've never had to interview someone before?
Great question.
Good
So
question.
we literally people may seem like this is like a common sense thing, but a lot of people haven't interviewed people before. So we give you a mock interview between us and contractor, and we also tell you what to say and what to ask as well. So how long you've been cleaning? What would you do if this happens? If you broke something in someone's house? If a client wasn't there, if there was a dog there, we give you literally 20 questions to ask on an interview, just in case you've never interviewed before. And also to find out the best person to work with.
Very good. I love that you guys have thought of everything to package for the course, right? I love that you documented along the way, because so often we have to go back and say, now, what did we do? What struggles did we have, right? I love that you documented along the way. I love that you've put it in a place where now, your students can benefit from all your aches and pains, right? And all the challenges you had, and that you brag about how much more successful they are, right, in a shorter period of time than you were even. That tells me that you guys are amazing teachers. And so,
thank you.
For any, I mean, that's what it tells me, right? that you do a good job setting people up for success. And that's why you're actually perfect guest to bring to the 10K project, because that's what we're trying to do for our community, right? Here's an option on how you can build wealth, right? They did this to get out of debt, and it's turned into a 7-figure income, new opportunity. that, as we just heard, is the beginning. They're still only in Dallas, right? So there's opportunity to go outside of their city. There's opportunity to go outside of their state. There's opportunity to franchise it, right? Of course, has opportunity to grow exponentially. They started this to get out of $100,000 of debt, and it is turning into something much bigger. So congratulations to the both of you, first of all, for working together, right?
Thank you.
For working and trusting each other, and for being such great role models for this community, because now we see what a good roadmap is, and you've packaged it in a way that for $14.97, we can pay that and learn how to do exactly what you've been successful doing in the city and states that we all live in, right?
Yeah.
I just love that. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for being tired enough to say, we got to do something different.
Yeah. I do have another question though. How do
course.
you stop your contractors from not stealing the clients from under you?
Great question. That comes up a lot.
Mhm.
It
So
does.
my straight answer is you can't, right? So you have them
That's an
sign a
honest
contract.
answer. That's an honest answer. I like that.
Listen, you have them sign a contract and you hope that they don't, but the
Mhm.
law says you can't murder and people murder. So you can't really stop someone from doing that. Now we put
Yeah.
things in place that maybe we'll recognize it quicker. And if I recognize
Mhm.
that you're doing that, then I won't work with you. But more than not, people aren't going to do it because they see the benefit, right? So I'm
Yeah.
trying to steal this one client. You've given me 500 clients throughout the year.
Mhm.
So now I lost all of that. So
Yes.
more than not, our people, the contractors that we work with, they see the value. We pay them well enough. So those things I
Mhm.
think help them to keep them around and not do that.
Mhm.
But I'm going to be honest, I can't control what somebody does even if they sign the contract.
Right.
Yeah, we even we'll randomly send out a mass text or a mass email, just a reminder. Hey, just a reminder. We have a legally binding contract. Just kind of scare them a little bit. We
Mhm.
might do it like once a quarter, and they'll say, "Hey, just a reminder. These are our clients. We don't want you guys poaching." Blah blah blah. And then we'll get a response like that would be. Some of them will literally say that's stupid to. That would be stupid to do. There's like, you guys give me so much work. Why would I do that? So and.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, but technically, if you wanted to, you can take them to court because they signed a contract. So if you wanted
That's
to go
true.
that far,
If you
can
wanted to,
do those
yeah.
steps.
Yeah.
If
I
you
know
want-
with my company that I work with, that sends me referrals. I also, if I have too many clients, I'm able to send it to the community and get a commission if somebody else can do the work. So like that also is like, oh, okay, I've got this camaraderie with these other individuals that are all trusted and all vetted, et cetera. So do you do anything like that where
That is an amazing idea.
yeah.
We don't.
Yeah, I mean, I will get like, hey, you got your little commission for this, such and such a person closed it. And I'm like, good, free money. I didn't do anything for it.
Yeah,
We do
Send an
referral
email.
commissions for bringing in good cleaners. If they have a cleaner that works with us for 6 months, we'll
Mhm.
give them a referral commission because the best cleaners are normally referrals. So that's what we do with that. But that's a brilliant idea too.
Yeah. And then Raf is also saying most of the subcontractors are too lazy to deal with the paperwork. I will say that that is true as well. So if you're able to provide them with their 1099, and all they have to do is give it to their accountant, then a lot of people like that, So yeah. What else? Anything else that you like had sleepless nights over with regards to your business?
The biggest sleepless nights is people.
I was gonna say about to say the baby.
Oh no,
She's sleeping through the night
She
now.
sleeps through the night.
Oh.
She's a good sleeper from the beginning, so I really can't really complain about
We
that.
got lucky.
Uh-huh.
But with the business has been customers.
Uh-huh.
People can be very nasty, rude, and condescending.
Oh,
I think
wow.
especially in this business, they look down on some of the contractors.
Uh-huh.
So people talk however they want to our
Yeah.
contractors, and sometimes to us, they don't know that we're the business owners when we were calling and things like that.
Mhm.
And learn that you can't please everyone, regardless of how you operate, even if you make mistakes, and some people just aren't reasonable. So that I think is the biggest thing, dealing with customers and customer service. So we always say, if you are not a person that does well with customer service, you need somebody else on the phone. Because we've had students that showed us like how they responded to a review, and I'm like, flag on the play, do not write that. Like that is not how you do it. That also can come with time and
Mhm.
just knowing, don't react right away. All these.
Mhm.
That's a part that
Customer service.
that's a part that we went and added too. Once we saw that, it may sound so like common sense, but we was like, all right, well, let's put something in the course that tells you how to respond to
Yeah.
a review just in case.
Because people get their emotions in it. They're
Yeah.
like, well, this
Oh,
person
I
is
believe
wrong,
you.
and you know, they're speaking to me. That's not what happened. I'm like, I get that, but it don't even make sense to try to prove it.
This is not the place to prove it on a public platform.
Yeah.
You admit where you were wrong, where you can
Yeah.
improve, and you try to rectify the situation publicly. If you want to curse them out behind closed doors, do so.
Don't write
But
that.
we said we had to go and add that part to it. So we'll get little gems from students and things that we didn't think were necessary. We'll go back and we add and make changes as we learn what people need to kind of focus on too. So customers, we were on vacation one time and a customer called in and it was a Saturday and our team didn't know what to do. So this is before we had an operations manager and they came to us and that kind of blew our whole Saturday morning.
You can change your mood.
Where were we at? We were in Cancun or Tulum or something.
I don't know, but these
But-
customers can change your mood. Now, at the point I am 5 years in, it's not the same feeling that it was.
even if it did
month
come to
one.
us, yeah.
Month one, year one, you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, my business is gonna fail because of this one person. That's how it feels, right? Year 5, it doesn't feel the same. I still don't want to get a bad review, but the feeling, the emotion attached to it is just not the same.
It's completely
Right.
removed. We got a bad review. Now, out of 250 reviews, we may have 5 to 10 that are like bad. We'll see what can we learn from it. We'll go to operations manager. Where did we fail here? What can we learn from it? Let's respond publicly. Let's try to rectify the situation with the client. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
And those reviews used to make my stomach turn. Like literally, I get sick to my stomach. But now, listen, it is what it is. You're gonna get them. You can't please everyone.
That's
Right.
true. That's true. Tawana,
Very
you have any
good.
final questions?
I just want the people to know about www.cleaningbusinessuniversity.com. If this is something that has intrigued you the way it's intrigued me, then, please check it out. I've got some family members that I'm going to be giving this website to because they're looking for something, right? They're trying to find their thing. I think this might be something good for them. And so if you've thought of a niece, a nephew, or a cousin, right, you do the same. That, a lot of times when we're exposed to this, it's not always for us. We're sitting in this place at this moment for a reason, but it may not be because we want to start this business. There's somebody else in our life that may need this information. So don't keep it to yourself, right?
Right.
You know how we do. This is about sharing. This is about helping as a community, helping us all get to that next level of success.
And I
Yes.
think the big thing also is that, like we said, we focus on it being a cleaning business, but really the model can work for any service-based business. So if there's anything that you're thinking about, but we also have a podcast that I wanted to share as well called Hartzogs Hustle Podcast, and you can streaming platforms. We're like 40 plus episodes in, and we talk about cleaning business and just business as a couple and different things as well.
And is that found on all places? Where
All
you-
streaming,
all
yeah.
streaming
Google,
places?
Apple, Spotify, all
Okay.
of those. Hartzog
Say that
Hustle
again.
Podcast.
Hartzog Hustle.
Hartzog Hustle Podcast. Yeah, our last
Hartzog
name.
Hustle.
Hustle
Okay.
Podcast. Mhm.
All right. And then
Wait, I thought-
Latrice is asking here, if someone already has a cleaning business, do they still need to take the class?
Absolutely. We have many students that come to us. They're people that are still cleaning. They're like cleaning now and they don't want to clean anymore. That would be helpful. People just wanting to grow their business that, they're like, I'm in a stuck, can't get it to grow. COVID happened, kind of shut me down, those type of things. So absolutely, we have students that have a business now and have taken it and grown.
We've had students who've been in the business industry
years.
longer than us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they're like,
Wow.
I never even thought of not cleaning.
Doing it like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because you don't want to be bending and all of that forever. You want to
right.
graduate from that. So before we go, Tawana, we have tomorrow night, first of all, is 6:00. Eastern time. We have our recruiters coming to talk about how to change your career and make more money. So everybody, if you are looking to level up your career, these recruiters are really, really good. They talk about how you can transition industries, move to new jobs, level up your resume, make more money. That's going to be at 6:00. And then at 8:00, we have our Bet on Black pitch. Tawana, you want to tell
Yes.
everybody what that's going to be?
Absolutely. So the teaser for tomorrow night, because we don't tell you exactly who, what, where, how, right? But what we know is that home ownership is one of the biggest barriers to building wealth for the Black community. And tomorrow's founder has built a platform that makes that process easier, and easier from the standpoint of understanding the process, but also getting to the approval and finalization of actually being able to buy a home. And so it's a tech solution. You guys know, ever since the Black Futurist came on, I'm looking for Black tech, because that's what he told us to do, right? Black tech, Black tech. So I'm looking for all things Black tech, and tomorrow's company is in that category. So please come out, hang out with me at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If you are not already a member, this is a member benefit only. So if you are not already a 10K member, please join us at the10kproject.com. We do have a subscription, a monthly membership, as well as an annual membership. You can see all of that on the website. But the Bet on Black pitch is one of the things we love doing here at the 10K Project, because we truly are making such a difference in the lives of these Black founders who have amazing, innovative ideas. And the only reason they're not a household name is because they don't have the capital to be that. And so we help them get closer to getting that capital so that everyone knows who they are. And so, we're just here to support them. So if you are an investor and you want an early seat at the table and you want ownership, this is not a GoFundMe. Equity crowdfunding is a way for you to build wealth, because you get ownership in the companies that we bring to you. So the10kproject.com, become a member if you're not already, and you can join us tomorrow. For those of you who are members, y'all don't play. Y'all are always there hanging out with me on Tuesday nights. So I will see you all on Tuesday. And so appreciative. And Anthony and Janilka, congratulations on everything.
Yes.
Last 5
Thank
years,
you.
that beautiful baby.
Thank you.
Everything. Just congratulations and much, much more success. I mean, I'd love for you guys to come 2 years from now and hear the how this story has transcended even more. Because I see it. I know y'all see it because I see it, because it's easy to see. You got some work to do. Branch out of Dallas, branch out of Texas, talk to a franchisor, right? Like I see it. I see
National
it as clear as
domination.
day. I see it as clear as day, and I can't wait to smile when I see you guys doing this times 10. I can't wait to smile big. But thank you for sharing this with us. Thank you for documenting it. Thank you for making it a lifestyle change that so many other people can benefit from. We need more stories like yours where we can see it's possible, and then you share the roadmap with us on how to also duplicate the success. So thank you very, very much for everyone who's going to take that course in our community and be successful. We appreciate you sharing your story with us.
Yes.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for having us.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you.
And any final words from the two of you?
No. Thank you for having
Y'all
us.
left it all
Anything else?
here.
Sorry.
Well, I would say if anyone has an idea or a dream, man, just keep going. This thing, it may seem easy. This is 5 years of us being in this business, 7 years from starting off the debt freedom journey. So you may see it today and be like, oh, how they got there, but this has been a couple years in the making. So keep going. It won't be easy, but if you push through, you'll get somewhere. I promise you.
Perfect. All right, everybody. See you tomorrow night.